This is my audience. You will receive no money in scholarships from our university due to a low ACT score. This statement, which I have heard firsthand when applying to colleges throughout the past few years, is being heard by numerous students around the country. This, for instance, was an acceptance letter that I was not accepted into a college. And this one here shows that it was due to the low ACT score. People today believe that these standardized tests are the best determination of a student's ability, and they believe that these tests accurately portray how successful a student will be. Standardized tests can be defined as a test that is set up and administered by the state, typically multiple choice, that is used to be put a specified number on how smart someone is, such as the ACT. According to the National Center for Fair and Open Testing, also known as a fair test, the U.S. is the only economically advanced nation that rely heavily on multiple choice tests. Ironically, because other nations do not focus on teaching to multiple choice tests, they even score higher than the U.S. students in academics. While the audience, it is obvious that the state mandated tests are not working, and I believe that we have got to turn this problem around and make people realize the implications of these tests. I have personally encountered the problems associated with these tests, and after speaking with an academic advisor and learning more about this problem, I have only deepened my stance that this is a serious problem in our country. Standardized tests should not be a deciding factor of students' performance level, because these tests are limited to a student's performance on a given day. Many students are unfamiliar with the testing environment, and many students simply are not good test takers. The main reason that standardized tests should not be influential in determining a student's potential is the fact that these tests are limited to a student's performance on a given day. The idea that a student can be evaluated primarily by a test taken on a single day is preposterous. Kelly Gallagher posed the following question in her book, Read Aside. Do we understand that there is evidence that focusing on state tests actually decreases college readiness? I believe one reason for this decrease is that a number of unfortunate events could happen on the day the standardized test is scheduled. A test taker could acquire an illness, he or she could have a personal problem taking place, or the student could purely be having a bad day. These factors are proven to affect a student mentally and physically, which in turn causes the student to score lower. In order to fix this, we need to take the emphasis off of high stakes tests and place more on how a student performs throughout the entire education. A student's transcript needs to be a key factor when determining a student's ability, because their transcript shows a student's achievements over a period of time, not just on a given day. Unfamiliar testing environments affecting someone's focus, causing careless mistakes, is another reason why standardized tests should not be very significant. When taking a test, the environment where the test occurs is very important. If a student gets distracted by another student, or simply because they are not familiar with the setting in which they are taking the test, their nerves set in and focusing becomes impossible. When a student takes the ACT for the first time, they don't know really what to expect. One possible solution to this problem could be to allow alternative methods of testing for students overtaken by nerves concerning their tests due to their lack of experience. Explain to the students the way the test is set up and caution them about people distractions and nerves that could occur. And if they still feel distracted by unfamiliar of the testing space, allow them to take a short break from the test and regain their thoughts. Standardized tests should not be imperative to someone's academic reputation because many students are simply unable to perform well on standardized tests. Many students are incapable of completing state-mandated tests due to time restraints and mental block problems, provoked by the mere thought of taking a high-stakes test. Students, including myself, find themselves overwhelmed by stress and anxiety because of the inability to raise their test scores. While speaking with a guidance counselor at LCHS, she said that the standardized tests are not a true reflection on a student's ability because students often experience test anxiety and they cannot perform well under time restraints. Numerous students face this same problem. We know the material necessary to perform well, but we allow these tests to get in our head and shatter our thoughts, our confidence, and compromise the essentials needed to succeed. In order to help a student overcome this testing anxiety, the time restraints put on the standardized test need to be gotten rid of. Much of the stress that comes from taking the test involve the time requirements and worrying about having enough time to complete the test. So I believe that we get rid of the time restraints, we will be greater score from the students. Students commonly fall short of their expectations as a result of standardized tests. These tests should not be used so extensively to calculate a student's intellectual ability because these tests are based on a student's performance on a single day in an environment which may cause them to become very nervous. And many just cannot take high-stakes tests. Despite a student's prior academic background, which may be incapable, a less than fantastic score on a standardized test may place the student at risk of damaging his or her academic reputation. Nobody likes to be told that they aren't good enough. And the only way to stop being told we aren't good enough is to make these changes to standardized tests and lower the importance of these tests. And this is my audience.